Charles from New York City Guitar School, and today we're going to be learning The Ocean by Led Zeppelin. Alright? So this is a pretty simple riff down here. We're mainly going to be using the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. In fact, we're only going to use those 3 strings. So the A, D, and G string only. So you don't have to worry about anything else but those 3. Now I'm going to talk about this riff in 4 separate parts. And we're going to start with a pretty easy version, and then at the end I'll show you a couple little decorations that you can add on to kind of spice it up. Alright, so the first part we're going to learn goes like this. Okay, so there I did the hammer-ons, which I'll show you later, but to do the simple version, you're going to start with your first finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. Okay, and you're going to hit that twice. Like that. And then the next note is just the open G string. Okay, and then after that, you're going to the 2nd fret on the D string. You're just playing that once, and then with your middle finger down to the 3rd fret on the A string. Okay, so let's recap that really quick. We're going to do 2 on the G string, 2nd fret on the G string, 2 times, and then open G, and then 2nd fret on the D string, and then 3rd fret on the A string. Just like that, alright? So that's the slow version. Now the next thing that comes up is a cool guitar, electric guitar trick that you'll hear in a lot of rock and roll stuff, and it's called the scratch. It's basically like that. So you can put your left hand wherever you want, as long as you're muting all the strings, so that the strings just sound like that as you're strumming. Alright? And there's one measure of space here after that first riff. So it goes. That is the scratch pattern that you're going to use with your right hand. And it's fairly simple. You're going to go down, up, down, up, down. And if you want to count while you're doing it, it would be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And there's a little rest there. Okay? So let's put those 2 together. We're going to start with the first part. And then I'm going to do the scratch. Making sure to mute all the strings with my left hand. Okay? So that's the first 2 parts. You ready for part 3? Here we go. This part, we're going to start with the open D string. That's the 4th string for those of you who like to use that system. And we're going to go open D, and then the 2nd fret on the D string, and then the open G string. And then we're going to start again on the open D string, 2nd fret on the D string, and lay down that first finger onto the 2nd fret of the G string. So let me do that again slowly in time. Alright, let's put all 3 of those parts together. It's going to sound like this. Oops, I messed it up. Let me try that again. And okay, so that's parts 1, 2, and 3 all together. Now the very last part's probably the trickiest part. Okay? Here we're going to need our 3rd finger, and we're going to put our 3rd finger up here on the A string, on the 4th fret, okay? And we're going to be alternating between that 4th fret on the A string and our 1st finger on the 2nd fret. And then we're going to do the open D string, then back to the 2nd fret on the G string, like that. Okay? Now you might want to look over at my right hand as I pick that because the open D string is really important in this. So we're going to go 4th fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the G string, and then the open D string, and then the 2nd fret on the G string again. Okay? Cool. Let's put them all together. Once you get it up to speed, it sounds like this. Alright? So, if you want to decorate that a little bit, there's a couple little tricks you can use. The main one is at the very beginning, instead of just hitting the 2nd fret on the G string 2 times like that, you can do what's called a hammer-on. And that means you're going to play the open G string first and literally hammer on that finger right onto that 2nd fret. You can almost do it with no hands. Try that. So if you can get that kind of noise with your first finger there without even picking anything, that's the right idea. And then, when you do them together, you play the open G string, hammer on that first finger to that 2nd fret quickly. And then if we do that 2 times, right after, one after another, it sounds like this. That sounds a little bit more like what Jimmy Page is really doing. Cool. And then same thing on the 3rd part where we're going. Instead of picking each of those notes, you can do another hammer-on. Going from the open D string to the 2nd fret on the D string. And if you look over at my right hand as I'm doing that, I'm playing the open D string and then I'm hammering on. So I only pick once. Like that. So there's a couple cool little things you can do, and then once you get that all up to speed, you're rocking and rolling. Thanks everybody, that's the lick of the month for April 2013.